Do you ever find yourself questioning, why can't I just stop watching pornography? What am I missing? Well, I'm here to tell you today that there is something that, if you know right now, will change your life. And if you do, you'll see super fast results. All right. And I want to tell you what that is. All right. And that is prayer. Here's what Jesus says about that. Matthew 26, verses 41. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Now, Jesus spoke these words before he was about to get crucified, right? He told his disciples to stay awake and pray, right? And they couldn't do that. They fell asleep. But that's the reason why Peter was not able to own up to knowing Christ, because he didn't have the Spirit of God with him. So his fears were settling in. His fear controlled him because he didn't pray about that. He didn't pray. He didn't stay up and pray, right? That's where all of his disciples scattered as soon as he was about to be killed, right? But after that, when Peter received the Holy Spirit, he was bold. He was able to die for Jesus Christ. He literally got crucified upside down because of that Spirit of God, because of his willingness to sacrifice to the kingdom. Those are two different Peters. One of them denied him 3 times, and one of them gave up his life in a horrible way. But it was all for the glory of God. Right, so let's get into this verse. There are 3 things I learned from this verse. Now, the first thing is that prayer is our defense against temptation. Think about it for a second. When you don't pray, you're basically opening yourself up to the attacks of the enemy so that he can do whatever he wants to do to you and you won't be able to defend yourself. But when you pray, you empower yourself. The Holy Spirit gives you the strength to resist. And I love how Jesus connects prayer and temptation together in terms of prayer helps you overcome temptation directly, right? It also reminds me of the verse that Jesus talks about where it says, this demon does not come out except by prayer and fasting, right? You need to be able to pray. You need to pray so that you can actually overcome these temptations. If you're facing temptations with lust and stuff like that, I had to pray for hours, right? I'm not saying you have to do that. Everyone's situation is different, but you have to pray, because without a strong prayer life, you're vulnerable to sin and attacks. All right. The second thing I learned was that Jesus told us to watch and pray, not just to pray. Watch. Be vigilant of the things that are tempting you to go to sin, right? It could be that website. It could be social media, right? It could be your friends, the things your friends show you, the things your friends send you on TikTok, whatever it is, right? Be mindful of these things, because you can't just pray by itself but not be aware of the things that are triggering you to go to these things. You have to do both things. You have to cut out the triggers, right? And also pray for the strength to resist, because the devil will find a way to tempt you no matter what you do. But it's up to you to do as much as you can to avoid temptation and triggers, right? And the reason why so many people struggle with these addictions and these things is because they're not actually paying attention. They're just blindly going about life and just scrolling on TikTok and just hoping nothing's gonna come up to trigger them, right? But think about it. Like, let's be serious, bro. That's foolish, right? You know deep down something is gonna come up and the devil's going to tempt you, right? So why not just cut it off before you even become tempted by something you might see? Don't wait for something to come attack you before you decide to pray to God. Start with prayer. Build up yourself with prayer and allow God to strengthen you. So the second thing is you have to stay spiritually sharp and stay vigilant against the attacks of the enemy. All right. The third thing is that the flesh is weak, but God gives us the strength we need, right? And how do we receive this strength? Through prayer. I don't think you guys have heard it enough, but I want to tell you, you have to pray. All right. Because we have good intentions. It says our spirit is willing, but our sinful nature is weak. That means without prayer, we're not going to be able to beat down our flesh and strengthen our spirit to do the things we know we should be doing, right? When your flesh is stronger than your spirit, you're going to be a slave to sin. That's why some of you want to quit this addiction so badly, but none of you guys have the strength to do it because you're not strengthening your spirit. You're consuming cheap dopamine, right? You're just doing all these things to feed your flesh, and that's why your spirit is weak. So you have to rely on the Holy Spirit for the strength you need so that you can finally be set free from this addiction and finally experience the confidence and the relationship with God that you deserve, because that is the gift God has given us, the ability to have a relationship with Him. And we cannot let these things stop us from achieving that. All right. So when you feel like you're about to give up and you're tired of fighting this battle, remember that you have to watch and pray, because this is exactly what's going to help you break free from this addiction. All right. Now, if you're a Christian man and you struggle with addictions like this, and you want help from me personally, you can check out my private Christian men's community down below in the top link in the description, and I'll see you on the other side. It's only $7 a month, but we're going to be increasing the price very soon, because there's a course in there that can help you quit porn in less than 30 days. I've spent hours on it, and I know it's going to give you the strength and the strategies you need to quit this addiction for good. All right. Now, if this message was a blessing to you, you can support this ministry by copying the Peace Over Problems merchandise down below. But with that said, hope you guys have a blessed day, and peace out.